Okay, terrific. We do not have a lot of business, I do not think, unless anyone has something that they did not let me know about. Our fundraiser, according to Terry and Vicky, will be ready in a day or two. So very, very, very soon. And I want to thank both of them so sincerely for all their work. They worked very, very hard to put this together, to get a nice assortment of items, to have an order process that will work for us. We're gonna get going on that pretty soon, very soon, day or two. Terry's gonna send out an email with the instructions, I believe, a manual. Everything's gonna be posted or is posted on the website, so he'll give you that link. Vicky's gonna be quality control, and she's gonna be getting the order forms, so we're all set to go. Want to remind everybody that this is the last meeting before our summer break. And we do not know yet about September, either our meetings, if we're going to be allowed back in the church. And we don't know about our gallery show because the town hall still is not open. And if they don't open quickly enough for us to give you guys enough notice to get together frame prints, we're not gonna have a gallery show in September either. We are going to have our picnic this summer. We missed last summer because of COVID. So if you want to mark your calendars, I'll send this out, but save this date. It's going to be Saturday, August 28th, with a snow date, a rain date of 8/29 the next day. Probably be in the afternoon. It'll be a potluck, so we'll ask you to bring a dish. You're welcome to bring a friend. The only other requirement is going to be that you and anyone you bring needs to be vaccinated for COVID. Terry asked me to remind everybody that Photorama is on July 10th. There are still slots, but we don't know how many. It is via Zoom. We don't know how close they are to filling up. So would definitely suggest that you sign up quickly. The program is going to be featuring Judy Host. She is a photography educator, a lecturer, and a portrait specialist. And she's going to be covering portrait photography, how to capture movement, and then Photoshop work with blending images together and using textures and graphics with your portraits. So it should be good. General admission is $40. Student admission is $25. And you can look for an email from that Terry sent previously, or drop him a note if you no longer have that information and you need it. Well, let's see. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, that's all I have. Matt, do you have anything, or any of the board members? You want to raise your hand?
I don't have anything. If anybody else does, I can unmute them.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do you want me to introduce Harvey, or do you want John to do his photo and then I'll introduce Harvey?
Let's do John's photo and then Harvey.
Okay.
So let me find that real quick.
If you'll recall, John Sandstedt won Best in Show last month, but unfortunately he had to leave the meeting before we
Can you see it? Because I cannot. So
see.
computer's acting up.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, it's showing.
There you go. Yes.
Okay. And
So,
find John so we can unmute him.
yeah. Everybody wanted to know about this photo, John.
You're unmuted, John.
Okay, can you can hear me now?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay. This is an extremely difficult process. I spent hours and hours and hours making this picture. I bought a macro lens just before the pandemic was declared, so obviously I was keeping myself busy, and as the title tells you, this is Crayola crayons. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, I could give you permission to do that. 1 second. Okay, you have permission to share.
Okay. So that's the picture that I took.
Yep.
And then
You
and
have
then-
to hit share though, John.
Okay, now it's a macro. I was on a tripod and all the rest of it. It's
John,
yes,
we can't see anything. Are you sharing something?
I should have my screen up.
Now you hit
Nope.
share screen and then pick what you're going to share, the application.
You know, I'm trying to get back in. Oh,
Should be a green button along the bottom.
Or maybe on the top. It really depends.
Maybe on
have
the
you got
top.
anything?
No.
Not yet.
Let me try one more share.
There we go.
There we
We're
go.
seeing,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay, we got it now.
there's your crowns.
Thank you.
So literally, this was just an attempt. I borrowed some crayons from a neighbor and played around with it. Now, after I took this picture, did that, I was reading last summer spent reading all kinds of photography stuff. So if I can do it, I'm hitting filter, blur, and radial blur. And okay. And if it works, you see where the picture was going. And it's really a function, if you saw that, it's percentages you can increase and decrease the amount of revolutions. I have no recollection of what I pressed to make that picture. It was interesting because I'm a member of Monmouth and they were doing abstracts. So I sent this picture and entered it, and I did not win Best in Show, but I did get a 9 for the picture. And so that was good reason to enter it in the Cranbury event. And I was very pleased, obviously. Literally, that's how long it took to do this. Just a question of figuring out how much percentage you want to make this swinging change. That's it.
Very cool.
Very clever. Good thinking.
Now, all I got to do is figure out how to get out of this and get back over to.
All right. I'm going to introduce Harvey, and then I believe Harvey would like to share a couple images before we start our competition. Harvey's interest in photography started when he was a
Wait a
teenager.
minute, hold on for a second. I'm sorry, Debbie.
Sure.
John, if you move your mouse to the bottom where you have share screen, you
I
can
could do
stop
it.
Yeah,
All right, never mind.
I was
Thanks.
trying to get back in. I should be out at this point.
You're out
You're
now.
out now.
We're going to close people's videos while you're talking, Debbie.
Okay. Okay, so Harvey tells us that his interest in photography started when he was a teenager, and his father brought home a Canon FTB SLR camera, and it became serious when he joined the Westchester Photography Society over 35 years ago. Since then, he's held many offices in the club, including president, and worked his way up the ranks to the salon group in print slides and also now in digital images. He also belonged to the Bronx Photographic Society, where he served in various offices, including president and competition chair. He's won top honors in print, slides, and digital competitions in both of the clubs, and 2 gold medals and a Judge's Choice Award at the New England Camera Club Council's annual conference. He's been judging and presenting in the local area for over 40 years. He and his wife moved to Rock Hill, South Carolina about 3 years ago, and are both active members now of the Charlotte Camera Club, where he is on the board of directors of that club. So welcome, Harvey. We're happy to have you. Thank you so much for judging. One quick thing before you start, our topic tonight is outdoor macro photography. And I want to apologize because I think the person who submitted this topic really had wanted it to be limited to nature. But we said in the description that Hand of Man was okay. So we may see outdoor photos that are definitely not nature, and those are going to be fine. And Harvey's going to judge them equally, along with anything that anyone submitted that was nature. So if it was outdoors and it's a macro photo, it's going to be allowed in this competition. So that's it. And if you can
Okay,
unmute Harvey, we're ready.
All right, I'm going to share my screen and bring that up. Okay, when I do outdoor macro photography, you will see I bring a load of stuff. If I'm going to, say, a garden and I'm going to do macro photography, then I bring that. But sometimes, things are just ad lib, and I'll show you some of the stuff. So here's a typical image, the water lily, which are really nice. But when you have a nice sunny day, you've got. Could you see my cursor moving around?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So you got highlights, hard shadows, and all that. So I borrowed the idea from, doing studio work, where if you use a diffuser over it, you can then diffuse the light, even it off, and you get something like this, which now has soft shadow. The highlights are gone, and you see the reflection in that. I just excerpted some images from my macro program where I have this, but if I'm going out for a full day, I take a lot of stuff. My wife walks around and says, I can't be bothered with this, but I'll take, some time. Here, it's just a luggage cart where I would put my big camera bag, which has most of the accessories, put an arm on it with a diffuser, drop a cloth background in, and a reflector in, and okay, there I am, set up, to take the picture. So if I have these things away, I can move my tripod around and do different things and end up with that. Okay, then sometimes I was walking around with my dog and it was a cold morning. People don't believe it gets cold down here in South Carolina, but it does. It was after a rain, and there was a frozen droplet on a branch. So after I finished with her, I went back out and got this shot. Now you can see there's a little radiating sunburst over here, and the background is dark. I positioned myself where this droplet was behind a tree with the background, and the sun was right on the edge. So I maneuvered myself around to get these elements in there. Then stopping down, you get the little starburst and the light coming through the frozen water droplet. And you know how big a droplet is. So this was done with a macro lens. Okay, but this guy was fluttering around in my yard. I saw him, and where I live, there's a small lake, so I always have I'm shooting Olympus, so It's a 300 f4 lens, which is really a 600 f4 in full frame size. Sometimes it has a teleconverter on it, but that's sitting on the lens. And this guy came by, so I grabbed the camera, and you could use long lenses to get these shots. So I chased him around where he was on the flowers and, got that shot. We were out, taking some scenic shots in Chattanooga. And there were some flowers, so I was shooting the flowers, and then this guy came along. So I went in and shot this guy. So sometimes I don't have all the equipment. Sometimes you're out. If the opportunity presents itself, you take the picture, get that. And, there was that, butterfly, and if he's in the right position, I just move it a little closer and, get a larger than life size image. Okay, so I just wanted to show, since I'm judging a macro competition, some of the stuff that I do with macro. Some of it is just opportune, and some of it is going out and doing it on purpose. Okay, that's my stuff. So we can let the games begin now. Okay, is anybody else unmuted?
All right, we'll get started here.
Yeah.
Does your camera work, Harvey?
I'm sorry? Oh,
Does your-
yeah.
Because your
Yeah.
camera work, people like to see you
Okay,
when you're judging.
all right. I'm trying to, there it goes.
June.
I should be, we're in speaker view. All right, I just turned the camera on, so you should be able to see it.
It's black.
Let me change my view so I can see. My camera is on. Oh, I think it's help. I think I'm hung up here.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, Zoom just stopped responding. I'll wait for it to respond. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to sign.
You're unmuted, Debbie.
Thank you.
All right, Zoom just stopped. I don't know, there's things about Zoom, and it's happened with, I know, with other people when they stop sharing and come back and suddenly
Suddenly it
things
doesn't want to work.
stop working right.
Do you want to leave and come back then? We can wait for you.
I may have to do that.
Okay,
All right, so let me close.
we'll be here.
Interesting. I still see him on there. Oh, there, no.
Yeah, there, he finally left. No, John, it's a Windows picture. Windows 10. All right, I see him coming on. Ask him to unmute.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
You're unmuted. See if your
But
video
camera,
works.
every time I go back to the camera, it seems to
Oh, it shows,
hang up.
says now that your video's on.
So
Says
it
it's
might-
on, but we don't see you.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
black. Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you have to allow me to for my video to come back.
Let me stop your video and then I'll request you to turn video on, see if that does
Okay.
it.
Because I click start video, it's not starting.
Yeah, I click stop video, it's not stopping. Very interesting. All right,
Yeah.
well, let's continue on.
Yeah.
We'll try to fix it at the break, maybe.
I think it just, I don't know why. I think I'm just, you still hearing me?
We still hear you, yes.
Okay. All right. I don't know what's going, but, if I go out, I'll be back again. But, all right, you can continue, I guess. We'll see what happens.
All right, great. Okay, we're going to start with group 1. That's our beginner group.
Mhm.
We have 4 images,
Okay.
and here we go.
Okay, I will announce the titles for you, Harvey. So this is level 1. First image is named Heart.
Okay, I see, you try to get in close. It's a good attempt. In this case, generally you say, well, I don't want things to be in the center, but because of the nature of this subject, with these things radiating out, entering the image is not bad, really, in this case. The only thing you have in this case is that your point of focus seems to be a little further back, a little more to the top than it is in the front. So if you handheld this, sometimes where your minimum focus and you try to move in closer or further back, you lose the focus point. So the thing to do is go back a little bit so that your autofocus will work and you could focus on the middle. In an image like this, I would say you would stop down to F11 or F16 to try to get things in focus as much as you could. But the foreground and stuff is out of focus. Then you have these white things to deal with on the outside. And in that case, if you don't know how to do it, then I would speak to someone in the club who is experienced and show you how to clone in that white area. Or you could crop it, most of it out, and then clone in some of the green over the white, because the bright whites are distracting with this. But it's good seeing, so 7.
The infamous hornworm.
Yeah, with all the things, falling all over it, Okay, again, you came in close to get this. Your point of focus on the head and the foreground is good, but then you see how and if this one's tough. This is, this image that you have is tough to do because you've got a lot of distracting background that's very close to the subject. And there really isn't much you can do about it unless you actually go in and clip those leaves off and everything else. I'll don't admit to it, but I do that sometimes. Because really the worm is not going to go anywhere with this. But you see where you've got the center is really, nice and sharp, and you've got I think that's aphids that are on his body. And then you've got that out of focus area on top. You could crop that out, really. And you could crop out some of the bottom and some of the stuff in the side, which is material that you really don't, you don't need. It's distracting. And you could crop in on this. Not everything has to be full frame, but you crop in, and then when digitally, when you show it, it's going to appear bigger. So that's, something to, to consider with this. But again, this is good seeing with this 8.
Ode to O'Keefe.
Okay.
Harvey, did we lose you? We can't hear you. I think we completely lost him. Matt, I think we lost him. I think he's gone.
Yeah, he looks like he's
Yeah.
completely dropped out.
Okay, we'll wait for him to come back.
Yeah.
He might be having networking problems, so maybe we should ask him to dial in.
I hope he realizes that we lost him.
Yeah. Well, he'll realize when we're not responding to his score. Technology is great until it doesn't work.
Matt, do you want to try to put it? I don't think he's in anymore. I was going to say something up to say that he's gone, but do we have a number for him?
I don't know. Let's ask Lynn. Hey, Lynn, you're unmuted.
Unpadwe, unmute yourself.
I
Lynn,
can
do
email him.
we don't have a phone number for him, do we?
I might, well, I have to look and see. Can I just email him?
Yeah, you can try to email him, but
Yeah, he may have had a power outage or something.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I have her number.
I'll give her
Yeah.
a call.
Yeah, I have to go get it.
I'm gonna pause the recording because we don't need all this dead space.
You can practice your editing.
Oh yeah, that is no fun. Pause recording. Recording. All right, so this is a 7.
Yes,
Okay. Oh, gotta click.
I'm gonna spend a little more time critiquing these than, some of the others. Okay,
White Daisy.
all right. Again, I guess somebody's been watching competitions and noticed that, you don't have to show the whole flower. Taking a part, putting part of it in the one corner and letting the petals radiate out is a very effective composition. And you've done that quite effectively here. The lighting is pretty good on it also. However, again, it's your depth of field. You go out to this mass in the upper left, which is totally out of focus. And so it all merges together into one thing. And then your petals, as they're starting to move out, also tend to, go a little out of focus. So the key to this, to do this, is stop it down. Stop down to F16, even F22 if you need to. I know that people say that after F8 in digital, some cameras even F5, 6, with certain conditions, you start to get what they call, where it starts to get soft because of the way that light bends around the aperture of the lens. But I'll tell you, in 40 years that I've been doing this, I've hardly ever noticed that. And today with digital, you could add a little sharpening and you get rid of it. So don't be afraid to stop down with this, because it would have made a much more effective image. But I like the way you compose this and the rest of it. 8.
Okay. We have 2 8s. So I need one of them as first place.
Okay.
You should be able to see the thumbnails at the bottom.
Yeah, right. I know which 2 they are.
This is one image.
Yeah.
This is the other image.
All right, I'm going to give it to this one because
flower?
I think the image is, it's a little cleaner in terms of, you do have, both of them have, issues with depth of field, but, this one just is a little cleaner image.
Excellent. All right, we're gonna move on to group 2.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not. We're going to announce, oh,
No, we're not.
no,
It's a
we're
first
not. No,
place.
we're not. Okay. Oh, you're right. It's a first place. Okay. Never
So-
mind that.
We are moving on to group 2, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
And here we go.
All right. Group 2, ebullient.
Okay. All right. In this case, it looks like you did the point of focus. This isn't on purpose. This is not something that's done by accident, because you came in and, you focused right in on that one part of it. And this is a rather, busy flower. So the rest of it can go out of focus a little bit. So I can see what what you're trying to do here. For that particular technique, to do the shallow focus technique, I don't think this is the best sample to use for that. Generally, you just want like a little sliver of something that's focused, and the rest, can go out. And you've got a lot of bright red around it, so that could easily be cropped to come right in and focus right in on that, just that one part that's sharp. Which is nice. I mean, you've got decent lighting on this, but the reds around it, I think, are a little too, just a little too much distraction. 7.
Rocket larkspur wildflower.
Yeah. Now here I know that the focus is nice. You came in and cropped in just on a group of these. The one thing about it is that, compositionally, my eye is going around and around and around and looking for a place to stop. And it doesn't. You've got a lot of very nice, sharp, nicely lit flowers in the group. But I would like to have something in one area that would be something a little different. Of course, that's the flowers. They're not. They're going to be all the same. That's the way it is. So in terms of the sample, it's a nice shot. You got the dark background, so that nothing in the background is distracting. You do have a couple of little, these light streaks coming out from the flower in the bottom left, and then a little one on the bottom right, and those can easily be cloned out, considering you have just a solid white background to make it a little cleaner. But you got everything in focus, which is good. 7.
Carpenter bee feeding.
You did a nice job isolating the bee, on the flower. The bee is the main subject. The flower is not, distracting on it. You really couldn't crop in. I don't think you can crop in any closer with us, because you got the antenna. You don't want to cut that. You got the side of the bee, so you got the eye, the back, the wings. All of that is nicely done. I don't know if you put a texture on that to get rid of the background. But that, to me, neither here nor there. I don't care. The only thing is that the bee is not sharp. And if that bee was tack sharp, it would be a tremendous image. But I think your composition is good. The tone of the flower doesn't overpower the bee, which is really important in this kind of shot. And the background is handled very nicely. A little bit of noise you see because you cropped it tight. Okay. You could use topaz denoise and get rid of that, but it doesn't bother me with that. But I do like the composition. I just wish it was sharper. 8.
Wild wheat.
Okay. See, I like the composition that you put it at an angle going up to the left. instead of being straight up and down, because these things don't grow straight up and down. And if it's a complete vertical, then it just becomes static. This adds a little dynamism to it. There's a lot of these, I guess there's stalks and things that are coming out from the flower, from the stalk itself. You cut it off. Okay, I'll go with this is the presentation you decided to do. I might have expanded it and done a little, shown more of it, but that's neither here nor there. Again, I wish the stalk itself, the wheat, the grass itself was sharper. It looks like that's out, and the leaves behind it actually are sharper than what's in front of it. I would, point of advice, when you're taking a picture like this, and you are fairly close to it, you could bend those leaves behind it away or back so that they'll be a little more out of focus with that. And you can see that if you use the autofocus center point of your camera, I could see where it would focus back on the leaf and not the flower itself. So you might have tried to shift the focus point to make sure that it focuses right in on that. And that would have been sharp. 7.
Cicada on planter.
Yeah, really good cicada, good shot at the cicada. Really good. Okay, now here you see everything is sharp. You got in nice and close on these guys. Sometimes they'll just sit there. They're scary. I've seen these things and I says, ooh, but really good job. The wing is sharp, or appears it's apparently sharp edge to edge. The eyes, those red eyes pop out, and you got that from your angle, the camera angle, you got the top of that second eye, the far eye, which is really nice. The only advice I would give you is this foreground element is a little bright. You could darken that down a bit, and this thing would really pop even more. But I like what you did here, 9.
Floral fireworks.
Yeah. It's a good title, because when it came up, I said, I'm not a fan of very busy images like this with a lot of stuff, but this one works. You've got all these things radiating out, and it gave me the impression, even before I heard the title, of something like fireworks. And I'm impressed with this because, normally it's too busy. There's nothing to focus on, but there actually is. And it works. 8.
Before the wilt.
Okay. Now, I don't know what I'm looking at here. It looks like something from an old horror movie. But if you notice, the part that's in focus is right in the center. And not knowing what this is, I go around, I come right to that center. And I don't know what it is, and I don't find it all that interesting. One of the things in macro photography that you got to try to do, not always successful, but you try to do it, is the foreground needs to be sharp. It can fall off toward the very background, but the foreground and your subject, if it's stamens and pistils or something, that needs to be sharp. It's very hard to do in something like this unless you do stacked focus, where you take a series of images with the front sharp and you do a series, then you stack them in Photoshop later. Otherwise, you could start down to 32, and it's unlikely the whole foreground would come out in focus with that. But the background is okay. I see you kind of burned in a little of that green in the background, but you left that little halo there in the upper left. 7.
hook and eye.
Okay. All right. Now, I look at this and I say, okay, technically it's nicely handled and it comes up and has impact. Would I like to see this tilted a little bit and not straight up and down static? I don't think it matters in this. You got it nice and sharp. I like the subject matter. I would have just done a little, I wouldn't have cropped this tight. I would think that you need a little more room to breathe, especially the top, because it looks like, it makes my head like I'm right up on the ceiling with it. I like whatever that stem is on the bottom. It looks like pajamas. And you could read some stuff into this particular image. But it's nicely done. I'll give this a 9.
First hydrangea leaf to reach the sun.
Yeah, you got that, you see the bud, and these things are exciting. It's nice. You've got the one that's almost emerging, and then this one that is emerging, and the stem, and things. And you've composed it nicely. You got that stick coming out from the bottom left to the upper right, which is fine. Some people say, well, it's got to be the other way. I don't know. And to me, that doesn't matter. The thing that hurts you here is the lighting, which is a little harsh. And because of the lighting being, hard and bright, it exposed the background. And you soft focus that background beautifully. But it is bright and it is distracting, taking away from the subject. It's if you saw at the beginning, the stuff that I use, my diffusers in the background and stuff, that really is what you need to do this right, or you need it on an overcast day. And then the background would be darker and the foreground would not have the hard shadows. But you composed it nicely. And I think the subject is good and it's sharp. 8.
My opium.
Okay, it's another, nicely composed image. The greens around it really complement the subject. The subject has that slight tilt to the left, which is nice, and it's isolated. Unfortunately, it isn't sharp. You've got the, soft light on it. You've got all the elements together, except your subject is just not, it's not sharp. Again, you could, it looks like the background is the sharpest part, the foreground is not. So I'm not sure where your point of focus was for this. 7.
Monarch on coneflower.
Okay. The one hard thing about butterflies is getting the wing sharp edge to edge, and you nailed it. And you have the antenna also, nice and sharp with that. The flower, on this, I might have cropped a little more up from the bottom and a little in from the side and the back a little bit, because you see those petals are really bright and you've got the shadow of the butterfly coming off on the left side. So the lighting is a tad hard, but you want to minimize that. So if you come in a little bit from the right, come up, you cut a lot of that stuff out, and then take the highlight slider in Camera Raw or Lightroom, and bring that down. You get all the texture in the leaves would come back. So that would be, I think, much better. But the subject is beautifully handled in this case. Okay, this is the 2 groups. So I'll give this a 9 because the butterfly is really good. But you do have problems with it.
What a lovely couple.
Yeah. Okay, I like the subject you have here, and you chose to shoot it straight down. It's really tough because you focused on the top of it, and then the focus dropped off, really quickly, which I'm surprised because the leaf, which is further away, is relatively sharp with this. And the way you compose this, though, my attention is going between that big leaf and the flower, and I'm going back and forth. Whenever you have twos, you want to try to have something that's a flow. Now you've got two of the leaves in there behind it, which could act as a flow compositionally to bring you up to the flower. But because they're dark and out of focus, and your two in the front are sharp, they compete with each other. And they're, one is, bigger than the other. So they're really in competition. So it's tough to get, the complete, get the depth of focus to come all the way back with that is, it's difficult. But in this case, I mean, that one flower, I might have shot it from a different angle, but then it tells a different story than what you wanted to say. I don't think that the story you're telling here is successful in this composition. 7.
Okay, I need a first, second, and third
Okay.
from the 9s.
All righty. All right. The cicada is first. The next one is second, and the butterfly is third.
Excellent. All right, and I've got 3 8s. And we'll make them HMs.
All of them?
Yes,
Okay. I
I'll
made life
I'll
easy.
save you the trouble.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll review this contest.
Okay, so level 2. Our honorable mentions first. Harbinger Bee Feeding by Walter Blitz. Congratulations, Walter. Honorable mention Floral Fireworks, John Curzel. Congratulations, John. First hydrangea leaf to reach the sun, Walter Blitz again, honorable mention. Congratulations, Walter. And third place in level 2. Monarch on Coneflower by Mary Little. Congratulations, Mary. And second place is Hook and Eye, Terry Donofrio. Congratulations, Terry.
Excellent. All right, we're going to take a quick little 5-minute break. And then we'll do the next 2 groups. And if anybody wants to unmute themselves, they can as soon as I find the option to let you do that.
Okay. If anyone has any questions, we want to take the time to do this. Because I know in the next 2 groups, I'm going to be tougher because I guess the more experienced, they should know better.
Uh-oh.
I mean, these 2, the beginning groups, you reward certain things that you take for granted in the more advanced groups.
This is Valerie. I have a quick question.
Sure.
All that stuff you're lugging around, where are you going that they allow you to have all that equipment with you?
Okay, well, all right. When I haven't been to the gardens down here, mostly because the really good garden is about an hour and a half away. And my wife does not like to do outdoor flowers. I do. Well, some of the things that I did, the New York Botanical Gardens, you can't take the stuff inside, but around on the grounds, I take a cart. I have a large bag. with, has almost, it has all my accessories, my spray bottles, all my clamps, diffusers, reflectors, all that stuff. And then I use that cart as a platform for putting that stuff up. Some of the stuff that the Dahlia, which I showed, was done. Well, PFLI had one of their things. I forget the garden. It's in Long Island. But again, outside you can use all of that stuff. There are very few places, when you're outdoors in a garden, that they prohibit any of these things from doing it.
Harvey, it's Vicky DeVico. In Long Island, is that Old Westbury?
No,
Oh,
I did shoot at Old Westbury. It's another one that's in that area.
okay.
Oh man, I forget where they would hold their fall, not a conference, but they had a whole shooting session with indoor and outdoor shots at that garden, which is really nice. When they have the Dodgers in the fall, it's really very nice. The New York Botanical Gardens will not allow anything indoor anymore. They used to. That's stuff I used to do indoor in there, but they will not let that. No tripods. I mean, none of that stuff indoor. But outdoor, you could do anything. It's really, that's really nice. We just did a lot of landscaping down here. So I'm hoping to get some things that, if they're nice, I'll come out and do a whole big setup. And then my wife will take the pictures.
Good for you.
She'll do that. But even indoors, I mean, I'll do things. I'll set up backdrops and lighting. I just got this. In fact, I would usually take a flash. I don't now use a flash, but I'll have not a LumiCube, I have the other one. I want to use that outdoor, and I have some little LED lights that I'll use sometimes for lighting, even outdoors. Now, I find taking a little reflector sometimes, because the centers of the flowers are not always lit, and you bounce a little light. The reflector I like to use a soft gold, not a regular gold, because it's too yellow.
Yeah,
Wait till you get to this.
that
And
makes sense.
I think the silver one, this is a silver and gold combo,
Yeah,
and it gives a really nice light. I think silver is just too hard. But you can get some really, you get some really nice effects with that. Okay, this concludes the entertainment portion of our show. We will now get back to business.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready to start group 3. In group 3, we have, let me just mute everybody real quick and I'll unmute you again.
okay.
Hold on. Debbie, Harvey, you're unmuted.
I'm good.
All right, I'm good now.
Okay, excellent. All right, we have group 3. We have 18 images, so we need a first, second, third, and 4 HMs. And here we go.
Level 3, first image, old blue eyes.
Okay. Well, you did a nice job on the dragonfly. You really, you got in on the eyes nicely on it. Unfortunately, now we're up in the other groups. The background. Background in nature photography, in flower photography, and things in general. The background is just as important as the subject. You hit the subject perfectly. You got the wings in the foreground are sharp. The body is sharp edge to edge because it's parallel to your camera. Even the wings going to the back are really good. But it's unfortunately that background is with a lot of bright stuff, and there's not much you can do about this. You can't say, okay, in Photoshop I'll select the dragonfly and I'll blur the background out and darken it all down. No, it's not going to work. A 7.
Prickly.
Okay. I like the idea here. I like the idea of the leading the lines all coming in to a spot at the top. I mean, they're not directly, like a road to one spot, but you can see this axis leading lines. They're sharp. I like the little curves on the left and the right coming up in this. The lighting is good. Exposure is good. The one thing is, where's it going? You got all these leading lines. They're taking me up to something, but there's no payoff, with this. So it's like a road to nowhere. And, I mean, the subject itself is very, very nice. And I could see the leading lines, but I made this comment before, when you have something that's, like this, that's kind of busy, you run around and around, you're roaming around looking for your eye to land on something. And there's nothing for me to land on. And I'm following the lines up and I'm just going right out of the frame, which is unfortunate because it's a good start to something. But unfortunately, I don't have the finish. 7.
Ladybug life.
Yeah, that's the ladybug. Anastasia, who you've met, she loves ladybugs. We have a collection of ladybugs of different kinds, not the actual bugs, but tchotchkes from all over the world. Every time we've been someplace and we see them in a curio shop or something, we buy them. So we have hundreds of them all over the place. They're really nice. And you place this, the ladybug, right in that rule of thirds position, really nice. I wish the bug was around the other way so I could see the head in it, but it's a nice, close shot. Because of a lot of the out of focus bright areas, I might have cropped this a little tighter, with this, but your image is good. And 8.
Elixir of life.
Yeah. So, this is a much better subject for selective focus than the one we had in the first group. I'm sorry, in the second group. Because now you've got just that little bit surrounded by, almost a luscious red with that. And the droplets on it and the area in focus in the front is nice. And yeah, I know it's centered, but it's not dead center. It's below, surrounded by the other area. My one, I guess, nitpick on this is you've got these white areas on the top part. There's the top left and in the above center right, there are these really hot spots. If it was just a dark red all around, there's sort of a lusciousness to it that I think works well. It's a good attempt, but the final product is just misses. 8. Can't go 7. It's better than 7.
Hummingbird moth.
Hummingbird moth, one of my favorites. I love hummingbird moths. I've chased these things all over the place when I've seen them. Now you guys are in New Jersey. It's a little far for you to get to the gardens at PepsiCo, Pepsico's world headquarters is in Westchester, and they open on the weekends from 10 o'clock, and they have a gorgeous garden. And behind the water lilies, up on the hill, is a hedgerow with flowers, and these guys are flying around in there sometimes. Okay. I don't know what your processing is on this, but it's, it's a little stark for it. I think you handled the background okay with that. And it's going into that, the white flower. You really can't crop the flower. You handled it well, darkening it down and letting it come right into the flower. 8.
Evening glow.
Okay, now you see how this is handled with the flower as opposed to the other one. Again, you've got, because you position yourself so the butterfly is parallel to your lens. So you can use a slightly wider f-stop, maybe f8 or 5. Well, I don't know about 5.6. But if it's perfectly parallel, you can get away with 5.6. The background comes up dreamy. It's sharp edge to edge. You've got that little bit of flower. Okay, and look how the background works with this, very nicely. The one thing with this that I would say, instead of making it just vertical, okay, I would expand the crop and rotate it a bit so it's at a slight angle instead of being vertical, which makes it very static. The flower's coming out horizontally, and there's this thing just laying vertical with it. But the rest of it, that upper corner, upper left, that should have been darkened down. 8.
Dragonfly 2.
Yeah. See, now here, the dragonfly, you focused in on the head. So that's the part that's going to be in focus. Even if you stop down, you're not going to get the back of that in focus. You just came right in. I want the head and the eyes and let the rest of it, go out. And for me, that's acceptable. You've got the front edge of the wings sharp, and I could see where your depth of field is going. I don't need to have the whole thing sharp in this case. I think highlighting just the head on it is fine. The crop of the edge of the wings makes sense because they're going to be out of focus anyway. And the only thing I would suggest, see a little stem in the front, darken that down. That's a real easy fix to darken that down. And then it will not, because it's bright and you keep coming back from from the head to that stick. But, it's minor for that. I mean, I like what you did with this. 9.
A bee's view.
Okay. I can see what you're attempting to do here, to get in close, come in and shoot down in this, but your plane of focus is very shallow. You've got just the top part, and it's also kind of dark. Here, a reflector coming in to kick some light in, or you could try the shadow slider when you're processing to bring it up and make it a little bit brighter. But this needed to be spotlit pretty much into the center. Then you'd have enough light to actually stop down a little more, and it would be a lot less confusing. As shown, I find it just a little too confusing with the area on the outside, out of focus, and there's nothing for me to really come in on in the center. 7.
Threesome.
Okay. You got a nice group of flowers. I really like the way you accented the stamens and pistils on the 3 of them in there. And my eye goes around that center. You've got the outside just a little, I mean, it could have been a little darker, so that I stay focused in the center, and you have three where I'm not bouncing back and forth. I'm just going around and following around, almost like a still life. But I love the highlights on the stamens and pistils in the center flowers. I don't find the background, is it distracting? Not really, but that's the way these flowers are. That's the way it is. And I don't think, you could have come in on one of them and just shown one and try to get the rest of the stuff out of the way. But that's a different story. You decided not to do it. You're showing me the three of them. Again, here I try to darken the corners down a bit. Your reds may be a tad oversaturated, just a little bit. You could come back on that, some, but you do have detail in the petals, so they're not totally blown. That happens a lot with blown reds. 8.
Rest stop.
Okay. All right. Now, here you've got everything nice and sharp. The wings are sharp. The body is sharp. The stem, the background is very well handled. You can't always, do it with these guys, but in this case, I think your angle being, if you could have been a little higher to get more of the head. When these things are facing away from you like this, and you don't really see the head and the eyes, which are really, I think, the most interesting part of this, the dragonflies. But, this is well handled. You've got angles, it's not static. You might have been able to cut about a third of the top of the image would have been better. 8.
Iridescent rock.
Okay. All right. Now, if you're going to come in and take, an image, of the rock, in this case, my eye is running around and around, and I'm looking for something to, for a part of focus. If you want to do the rock like this, you could come in really close and examine the grains in the rock. I taught geology for a long time, so I am interested in rock grains, and you could see what the different, what the different elements of the rock are. That, as a close-up would be interesting, rather than just, the one rock, which could be interesting, but everything is kind of blending one into the other and not making a lot of sense in terms of an image. 7.
Pollinate me.
Yeah. I love lilies. They're really nice. I think you handled the background here nicely. Your lighting is a little bright, a little hard, but you've got this at the right time. Things are in focus. See that there's one in the upper left. You've got the flower there. For me, I would bend that out of the way and try to curl it out of the way so that you only have that one flower. And then in post-processing, I would take my highlights down so that those leaves did not have those, really bright spots on them. But you handled this, I think compositionally, the angle of it, interesting. There is a rule. I don't know who made up this rule. I don't know why it's a rule, but there is a rule that says the stem of the flower should never be in the corner or from the side. And you see how that's coming out from the side? Now, for me, the corner rule, I understand. The side rule makes no sense to me, except they say, well, it looks like the flower is going to fall down. So what? Who cares? I never take off for that. But I do think that, you've got that distracting distraction in the upper left corner, which could easily, that's why, you have a tripod, you put a clamp on the tripod and you bend that one out of the way, and you have this one exactly where you want it, because you got all the elements here and you handle the elements, really well. But again, it's too bright. A diffuser would make this absolutely gorgeous. You bring in a diffuser really close, it would be gorgeous. 8.
Just snack.
Yeah, looks like he's growing right out of that flower. Now here again, this is a more advanced group. Not the most advanced, but a more advanced group. So the fact that you're showing me this caterpillar with most of it out of focus, and the one part is the head is in focus, and not just show me that one little piece that's in focus, but you're giving me the rest of it, and a bright flower, which doesn't add anything to this. I don't know about it, which is too bad because you got a good subject. 7.
Damselfly.
Yeah, damselflies are tough. When you caught them. I was once chasing damselflies. We knew a spot where they were going to be is up in Michigan, and we got them. And every time, and in the morning they're dew covered, they couldn't fly until the sun hits them, warms them up, then they could fly. But as we approached them and try to get a shot, they turned around behind the stem, and we're chasing them around and around and around, and they just kept moving. Okay, I don't understand why there's a blotch in the middle of the wing. The wing looks okay. Yeah, it could be a little out of focus, but the body itself, is nice. Again, you've got, I guess, hard light coming through because it's lit from the top. I could see the shadows in the stem. That stem should be darkened down so that you even off the lighting, because it's kind of stark with it. 7.
On Dasher.
Okay. Now you see how this one is a little bit higher, and you see the head and the eyes on this, as opposed to that other one, which I said, I wish you were higher, because of the angle, and you didn't see the head. But here at least, you get the sense of the eyes, but you stop down enough to get the wings and the iridescent light off the wings, sitting on top of the lily bud, and the background, you handled extremely well. 9.
Dragonfly 1.
See, another good one, where here the head's in focus and the rest drops off, and that's fine. The legs are in focus, you got that stem. Critique on this, the tail of this dragonfly, those white highlights should definitely have come down, and that stem also should come down. You can darken that. That's pretty easy to do, but not let a highlight like that where I'm cutting off the really good centered image of the head, and and the way the wings come out, move him off center and back almost to a rule of thirds point, compositionally, really good. But these white spots on the right are really distracting, unfortunately. 8.
Whirling.
I really like the spiral effect in this. That's really, really nice. I'm sorry that it's not sharp all the way through, and I can see more of the spiral coming up. Here, because you've got a lot of out of focus, you could have cut this in half and just had that spiral, which is relatively sharp coming in, really nicely done. Even cut some of the sand off with that. As I said, there's a lot of these images depth of field really matters, where, you could follow up and get a little more. Or if it's not working and you can't get it, then you have to show me the whole thing. Because it's not sweeping around and giving me almost that Nautilus effect with the spirals, which is a shame because you got some good stuff to work with. 7.
Complementing colors.
Mhm. Now here, you've got the flower, and again, the stamens and pistil really stand out nicely. And then you've got the leaves on the side. And because there's 2 of them, I'm going back and forth between the 2. Well, what's my subject? Is it the flower? Is it the leaves? They kind of compete with each other in this case. So in this presentation, you may have said, well, I wanted to show, the complement of the flower and the leaves, but I don't know what to look at. I'm going back and forth. I don't mind the flower in the background in the upper left and the one that's all the way on the right. Okay, they're dark enough that it doesn't attract me. But the center part where those leaves are bright and the flower, they're just competing. 7. You're right. Did I give myself a hard job?
Yeah, yes, you did.
Okay.
So I need a first and second out of the 9s.
Okay.
We have this image.
Yeah.
Or that image.
All right. I'm going to go with this one.
The
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think the background and stuff is a little better than the other one. So
This is
this one will be
first.
first and the other one will be second.
Okay, this is second. Okay. Now we have 8 8s. I need a third place.
Okay. We'll do a third and then you need how
4
many honorables?
HMs. 4 of them. So we have this image. This is 1,
Yeah.
2, 3,
How many HMs?
4,
Okay.
4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th.
Hmm.
And I'll go back to whatever you want to see, but
The third place. All right. I think for creativity, this number 2 will be third place.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then an HM, we'll definitely go with, I need 4 of them, right?
You need 4. So you have
Okay.
this,
So the butterfly will be 1.
this one here.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.
The lily. That one
This
is
one?
2. Yes.
2.
Yeah.
All right.
The next that dragonfly will be 3.
This is 3. All right. And then we have this left. We have flowers. We have the hummingbird moth. And then we have the ladybug.
Okay, I think we'll go with the hummingbird more.
Hummingbird moth. Okay. All right. We'll review this contest. And then we'll get on with the salon group.
So for level 3, our honorable mentions, we have Hummingbird Moth by Michael Podway. Congratulations, Michael. Evening Glow by Marianne Martin. Honorable mention. Congratulations, Marianne. I don't think she's on tonight. Pollinate Me by Matt Rank. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you.
Dragonfly 1, Kathy DeTana. Congratulations, Kathy. And for third place, Elixir of Life, Rose Scudari. Congratulations, Rose. I think she's still on. And second place, Kathy Detan again for Dragonfly 2. Second place, congratulations, Kathy.
All right, now we're gonna go to the salon group. We
Okay.
have 18 images, so we need first, second, third, and 4 HMs again.
Okay. Yeah, let's not be a little less forgiving on this.
And here we are.
The Monarch.
Okay. All right, this is close. So technically, it's not a macro because you got much too much in this image. But I really like what you did here with this, composition. The stream of the, I guess it's on a tree. The flowers, and then have the monarch, which looks like it's in good shape. Just as an accent to this. It's a nice picture. 8.
Life is a
Oh.
gamble.
Boy, if that thing would have put its tongue out and grabbed that ant, oh my God, what a nature shot you would have had. But he's there just sitting and it's just like the moment before. Really good. Really good. 9.
Fly in the flower.
Okay, now here, the fly is nice, but being small when there's a big flower, I would like to have seen more of the flower with the fly is an accent to the flower itself. The flower itself, I think, is just too brightly lit. You got a lot of specular highlights on it, which either you did it with flash, coming in from the top because of the way those shadows are, or you just had a very bright light coming in with the shadows. But it's neither here nor there. It's not the flower with the fly as an accent, and it's not the fly with the flower as an accent. If you had come right in on the fly, curled into that leaf, into that petal, it would make more sense. It's neither nor. 7.
Need more pollen.
The fact that you got it sharp in flight like that. Well, it's not in flight. It's landed on the. No, that's that's the pollen sac. Okay. Yeah. Really good. The only thing I'm looking at here is that you've got some bright highlights around the outside, and my eye kept going up to say, what's there? What's there up on the outside? Could this have been cropped in on top of those petals, which is leaving the front, and then darken? Again, you take that highlight slider, or even as a selective part, either the Visa or even in Camera Raw, where you could just select that leaf and just bring the highlights down a little bit. You get more texture, and it's not, you're not losing anything on this. I don't know, might have, brought that whole, just those highlights down, because they take away from the bee. It's unfortunate. 8. The bee is terrific.
Monarch.
Okay. All right, the butterfly is really good. It's sharp edge to edge. The top is good. You've handled the background well, even though you've got that yellow flower in the background, but it's complementing and setting off the black head of the butterfly. So that doesn't bother me. The really bright, it looks oversaturated flower in the front, that bothers that. Those yellows should have been brought down, and the reds also should have been brought down, because they're really, the way it's presented, that flower is competing with the butterfly, and that's unfortunate because you've got the quintessential shot, the bees and butterfly shots that you really want to try to get. 8.
Kathy's newly emerged friend.
Yeah, oh boy, you got them all up on your finger. You know, and it looks really good. I mean, that one is, you know, it's something that you have it on the finger. You know, I might have darkened the finger down a little bit, but it's good. 9.
Pine cone with sap.
Okay. Well, the tones in this for black and white are really good. The only thing is I have no idea what it is. I'm looking around and around and around for it, for my eye to land on something. And it's just not. I'm going around trying to figure this thing out. Now you said it's a pine cone with sap. Okay. But I'm unable to make this out as to what it is. So again, I'm sorry that there's just not something there to hold my eye as I go round and round and round with this. Technically as a black and white, it's very nice. But I think compositionally, it's just too busy. 7.
Rhododendron.
Okay, I like the light and the composition of this, that you put this in the bottom third of the frame. The stamens and pistils are sharp, and it goes back to the center, which is sharp. And then the petals, they'll fall out, which is fine. I would have burned down that top part because again, it's being bright, it's competing with the center. Since the lighting is almost the same, but those things are lighter and they're out of focus. It's an issue. However, if you look at this thing, it looks like a sea creature. You got 2 eyes up there in the head, and these things coming out, and it looks like one of these things from a sci-fi movie. It's going to come up and suck you right in with that. But again, on your processing, and this is Salon Group, you see this and you say, okay, I want to focus on that part, and I'm going to show the whole thing, darken it down so it doesn't become a distraction. 7.
Oh, my soul.
Okay, I think you all know what I'm going to say about this. Okay. Again, I have no idea what it is. It could be a leaf. You came in close, and you've got a texture and a pattern, but it's all the same tone. So you've got some white streaks in it, but there's no place for me to land on. There's one sharp line in the upper left coming across, but it's not taking me anywhere. So I have no idea what this is, and I have no place to land my focus. 7.
Catching a ride.
Yeah, got that, the nice cicada. This probably could have used either focus stacking to bring both eyes in focus all the way back to at least halfway, sharp, halfway through the head. Again, I don't know what f-stop you used. I don't know if you could have stopped down, to 22 or more just to get it back a little bit, because you got no background, so it wouldn't have mattered. And I don't mind the rest of it going out of focus because you got it really close on this guy. But you need more depth of field to have both eyes in focus, at least back to where that, area, back to that triangle on the top of the head, to make this really effective. But I have to give you credit, you got close. 8.
Eastern-tailed blues.
Right. Making more little blues. Okay. I'll tell you what they're doing. They're not having the blues. Okay. So you caught a moment in nature where, they're mating. The wings of the butterflies are, nice and sharp, and the lighting on it is good. The only thing is you got two of them. And I'm bouncing back and forth between the two. But, well, let's take it as a whole, and what they're doing and what they're involved in. So, you're going to get the two, but I like the texture that you got in the wings. And I guess that's strong enough in the story to overcome the fact that there's two of them in this case, and I'm bouncing back and forth. So we'll give it 9.
Daisy.
Okay. I think the title says it all. It's a daisy. Okay. The center is a little dark, so you don't really see all the nice details in that. And this daisy's past prime. I mean, look at the the petals are beginning to wilt, and some of it is not torn away, but worn away on some of them. You really want to have this as a pristine, and it could be rotated a little more, make it a little less static. But for me, the big fault is the fact that the center is not lit, and you don't see all the details, which is the most interesting part of this daisy. 7.
Outdoor macro of an old barn.
Yeah, wonderful texture in this, and I like the nails, the little rusty nails, they kind of like, it's not that there's just two of them, but, it kind of makes the flow. And then you see something that looks like a face of a dog or a lizard on one side. Very interesting, very nice study in texture. Looking at the size of the nails, is this a true macro? No. It's probably, less than a quarter life size. Probably more than that, but it is very, very nicely handled. With everything, and I love the texture in it. Really good. 9.
Painted lady.
Okay. Now, if you notice what I've said before with the flowers, now this flower is larger than the butterfly. So in that case, it does compete, but you kept it darker. So it's not, brighter. The butterfly is really good, not in pristine condition. Look at the wing on the left. I mean, it's a little, he's probably seen better days. With that wing, it's a little, should I say, moth-eaten. But you should crop in on that flower to make it smaller so that the butterfly, and these painted ladies are gorgeous. You look how you got the eye sharp and the proboscis in getting the nectar out. It's really nice, but you got a couple of flaws in here that I think really need to be looked at. Again, a crop, maybe halfway down that, a third of the way down the flower and across the bottom would have made the butterfly stand out much more than competing with the flower. 7. A couple of things I can't go 8.
Pretty on pink.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Okay, again, the wings are sharp, and the color is good. I think it's a little oversaturated. I think you could bring it down a bit for the butterfly, but it does separate it from that flower. And the flower is muted and the background is muted. So it all works, it goes together. 9. The eye is nice and sharp.
Monarch wing.
Yeah, going in nice and close on the wing to see, the pattern and texture. If you have Nix Vivisa, I would go in sections of this and bring up the structure a little bit. So it emphasized some of the scales that are in that wing. The composition of this, that little piece that you took and the way the lines run are excellent. And your lighting is also good. Would this have been, better perhaps backlit? I don't know. It's something you might try in the future if you get one of these guys and, can backlight the wing. It might have been good, but something to increase the local contrast on the texture in that wing would have really brought it up nicely. But, that's really good. 9.
Indian pink.
Very nice flower. Again, nicely handled, with the flower and the bud. The one in the background, though, because it's larger and brighter and it's out of focus, is competing. Had it been in focus and been perhaps centered between the two of them, then I would, go around and around. I think it would be better with this. But, it's a good subject and fairly well handled. And you got some good light on it, too. 7.
Hand of man.
Yeah. Hairy knuckles. Interesting. Again, it's nice texture and the black and white works with this. I am kind of bouncing back and forth between the upper one and the lower one. I think perhaps if you had concentrated just on the hairs and the knuckle joint on the top one, I think that would have been a more interesting image. Your tones are good. And the fact that it kind of goes out of focus as you start going up to the upper right, is a little disconcerting because the bottom now going to the lower right is in sharp focus. But for me, the most interesting thing are the hairs and the skin on the knuckle joint in the upper left. The rest of it is, I think superfluous. 7.
All right, we got 6 9s to work with.
Okay, so I need first, second, third, and 3 honorables. Right?
Correct. So this is 1 image, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
All right, I'm going to give first to the second image.
This one.
Yeah. I think first to that one. I'm going to give second to the butterfly wing.
This one.
Matt, you put second on that first one, not first.
Very true. Mm. All right, hold on.
I think you could, if you press A, it brings up the awards, and then you might be able to change it.
Nope.
No, it didn't change it.
Won't let me.
Can unmute Tom, he can tell you how. I've
You
done
might
that
have to
before,
do it
Matt.
when you, get into the score sheet in that. Are you using Photo Contest Pro, right?
Yeah, I fixed it.
Okay.
All right. Backspace. Okay. Let me just see something here real quick. Fix score. Yeah, I fixed it.
Okay,
All right, back to this.
all righty.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay. The second place will go to the wing.
The wing.
Yeah, that one. The third place will be the wood. The texture in that is really good.
Wood. Okay.
All right, and I guess 3 of them are honorables, and then I got to pick another honorable, right?
Correct. I need one more honorable mention
Mhm.
out of 4.
Okay,
I can't see the thumbnails. Can you?
yes,
I assume we're on the first image.
yes.
All right, now I can see them. Second image, third image, fourth image. I need one of them.
All right, the number 2, the bee with the flower.
This one here?
Yes,
Okay. Excellent.
you know, it's tough. I mean, they're all good. They're all worthy.
We'll review this contest and then I have one more task for you,
Mhm.
and that's the best of show.
So honorable mention, Life is a Gamble, Tam Stewart. Congratulations. Need More Pollen, Sue Fielder. Honorable mention. Congratulations, Sue. And Eastern Tail Blues, Tam Stewart again. Congratulations, Tam. Pretty on Pink, Lynn Padway, honorable mention. Congratulations, Lynn. Third place. Outdoor Macro of an Old Barn, Sue Fielder. Congratulations, Sue. Second place, Monarch Wing, that's mine, Debbie Aniano.
All right. And let me put together the final task for you. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And it's going to copy to this one. All right, and we have the best of show here. There's 4 images. We need 1.
Okay.
This is the first image,
Mhm.
second image, the third image, and the fourth image.
Okay, the cicada.
This one here.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Well, we'll review this contest and we'll be all done.
Okay, our best of show. We'll review the first place ones first from the different levels. So this was level 1, White Daisy, Margaret Maurice. Congratulations, Margaret.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell us
Hello?
about it, Margaret.
Well,
Hello, we hear
I
you.
was okay. I was on a hike, and it was Washington's Crossing, and yeah, we came upon a field of daisies, and happened to take a bunch, and I got up close, and yeah, I was starting to take pictures of that, and it was a beautiful day. I love flowers. I do.
And you
Makes
had the
me happy.
discipline, and you had the discipline to go in close with the whole field. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you so much. And I'm learning so much from all of you. I'm enjoying this.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And everybody's photos were beautiful. So natural. So, it's just, it's all the photos are great. And we're all learning. And I'm happy to be a part of the club.
Excellent.
Terrific.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And this is level 3. First place winner, Marion Martin on Dasher. And I think Marion is on. Yes, she's here.
Oh, she,
Congratulations, Marion.
Hi, I made it.
you made
And
it.
wow, thank you. Thank you. I took that at the sculpture garden around the pond. So thank you for first place win. I just got here, so this is a surprise. So thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it.
Excellent.
Congratulations, Marion.
Thanks.
And this is our best in show. right,
No,
Matt?
no.
Have we?
No, it's not the best.
No,
no,
of
it's
show.
not.
Nope,
Okay, so this is level 4 first place winner
correct.
is Kathy's newly emerged friend, Lynn Padwick. Congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you,
That's
Debbie.
really cool. Tell us about it. I
Can you
assume it's
hear me?
Kathy Tatana's hand.
We can hear
Can
you.
you hear
Yes.
me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so Kathy and I were out shooting dragonflies and damselflies last week, and this one dragonfly just landed on her hand and would not leave her. So I took it. And I think it was newly emerged because the wings were silver.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Where did you find these flies?
Oh, I'm sorry. Plainsboro Preserve I go all the time because every week the species change. They have different species there and they have so many different kinds. Actually, we really went to take the damselflies mating
And you find these around the pond or?
all over, just all
Okay.
over.
Okay. Did you wave when you drove by or?
What do you mean, did I wave? We
To me.
walked. Oh, to
Wave
you,
to
of
me.
course, yes.
All right, good.
I
Just
always
making sure.
do. I always,
Excellent. Now this is the best of show, Debbie.
Now the best of show, which is level, what level?
Level 2.
Level 2, Mary Little, cicada on planter. Congratulations, Mary. You have to tell us about it. I know you've got a gazillion of these in your yard. Is Mary with us, Tam?
Maybe Tam.
Unmute
Mary?
Tam. She's usually with him.
We'll unmute Tam then.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We
Yeah,
hear you.
no, we're going to Nickerson Beach, leaving at about 2:30 tomorrow morning. So she's gone to bed.
Okay.
But
Was that in
we
your
had-
backyard, Tam?
I believe so, yes. In fact, that's a planter. I think it's sitting on the corner of a planter. Yeah, we had lots of them in our yard. This is the 17-year cicada.
Sure is.
So I can't tell you about the exposure and
beautiful.
whatnot.
Well, tell her congratulations.
I will.
She'll have a
She'll be
nice surprise
thrilled.
when she gets up.
Yep.
Excellent.
That's great. Well, great images, everybody. And Harvey, thank you so much. Thank you for all your comments and your advice and constructive criticism so we could all learn. It was
Oh,
great.
good. I hope it was, good, helpful to you.
Excellent. It
And I
was.
didn't insult anybody.
I don't think you did.
Harvey, thank you so much. We really enjoyed your comments.
Well,
They were
thank
very
you. I
helpful.
enjoyed doing it. I enjoy it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Anybody
And good
can
night
unmute
all.
themselves, by the way.
Harvey.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Congratulations there to everyone.
Congratulations. And congratulations to everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Right.
Good night. Take care,
Good
everyone.
night.
Bye.
Take care.
Way to go, Mary Ann.
Thank you. Thanks. Matt, send me the certificates to my email. I'll send them out tonight.
I will work on them shortly.
Okay. I hope I can find them this time. Sorry about last month.
All right.
You should be able to get to the main folder.
Yeah, there was some kind of bizarreness that happens. I couldn't I don't know why I couldn't find it or access it. What, the statue?
Flash, real quick. Come on, Flash, Pat.
Do it again. Do it again. I missed it.
Pat would never recover.
Matt would never recover.
I don't think he's recovered from the last time.
I'm sure I've seen worse, Pat. Let's go.
Come on.
What is up with my view? I cannot see.
You look scary.
I
Hey,
only
Deb,
see you.
is the stuff on sale yet? It is on sale, right?
Is it on sale? I haven't, I saw it all.
I don't think quite yet.
Not-
Let
Not quite
the
yet.
next day or two.
I
Yeah.
think
Get an
tomorrow or the
email.
next day.
It's a flash.
Yeah.
Matt is bra.
Hey, Matt, here's your bra.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Red onion.
Those are onions.
It'll be
Very
ready
nice.
Friday.
All right, good night, everybody.
Pat's gonna model it for you
Oh,
now.
God,
Oh,
no.
perfect.
Come on, Pat. Come on, Pat.
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna-
get you a
I'm gonna-
coconut
I'm
bra there,
gonna-
Pat.
I'm gonna leave too. I've got to get up early. So good night, everybody, and congratulations.
Good night,
Good
Deb.
night.
Hey, Matt, where do you live near the preserve?